G'day legends, as promised, here is an overview of the composition task. Do it in steps and hit pause where I ask you to, and let's see how you go. Okay, so first things first, I want you to go to www.blanksheetmusic.net and print yourself out a piece of manuscript paper. So hit pause and do that. And great, you're back. Brilliant. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about key, all right? So most of us will be using the key of C major, which has no sharps or flats, for our composition. So what I want you to do is write out the C major scale. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So write that out on your piece of manuscript paper. So hit pause and do that, yes. And great, you're back. Okay, so now I want you to add in front of the C where you wrote that, I want you to add the G, so this is the G below middle C, the A, the B, and then this D up here. So we just added a couple of extra notes for you to play with in your compositions. So this essentially is going to be like your color palette. This is what you're going to be using, the notes you're going to be using in your composition, okay? Okay guys, so let's talk chords. So first things first, what I'd like you to do is copy this exactly how it's written on your manuscript paper. So hit pause and do that now. Okay, so you're back. All right, in our composition, we're in the key of C major. These really are the only chords you need to use, and that's the first, the fourth, and the fifth chord of the C major scale, okay? So you can add in a sixth chord, so that's A minor. It's got a particularly sad sound. I wonder if you can hear it all together. There you go. Do. You could put that in to add a bit of intensity, but if you were to only use chord 1, 4 and 5, that would be perfectly fine. You'd be fulfilling the requirements of this composition, because in a lot of pop and rock music it's fairly simple but very effective. Most pop rock music only use those chords. So that's in the key of C, that's C major, F major and G major. Okay, so let's just delete that. You might want to play those chords. Let's actually bring them back. You might want to play those chords on the piano, guitar, or if you want to just whack those into MuseScore, you can listen to them by playing them. You might want to come up with your own order based on what pleases your ear. But there are a couple of rules. So the first rule is that your first bar needs to be C. So let's just write a note in there. Your first note also needs to be a C. It could be this C or it could be this C. Okay, so let's write in that chord. So C major is going to be my first bar. And your last bar. So that's the rules. We also want to give this composition, particularly at the end, we want it to sound like this is the end, by making this a G chord. So and then in between, you could be just putting in the chords that you think sound really good. So that's one option. The other option, so deleting these, is to write a really cool sounding bass riff for 4 bars. So this is going to be our intro. Right here, we're just going to add, where is it? Bar lines. We're going to add a double bar line to show that this is just an intro and that's the finish of the intro. Okay, so you might go, okay, I like the sound of, you can play with it. C, maybe you want to make that a D flat. Oh, I don't want that to be a flat. C, actually I might make this a bit fancier. Ah, why does that keep wanting to be a flat? We want that to be a flat. We don't want this to be a flat. So do, 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 do. Ah. Ooh. Okay. It's sounding a bit too jazz. Do, do, do. Okay, alright, let's listen to this. Do 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 do. Yep, I like the sound of that. I'm just going to go Control C for copy and then Control V for paste. So yeah, that's your 4-bar intro. Oh no, and I'm going to have to plug in my charger. Hang 10, guys. I'll be back. I'm back, and I just realized, because I listened to that video back, that you can't hear it when I play this on my computer. So my apologies. I'll try and sing as much as I can for you so you understand what I'm going for. Okay, all right, so we just wrote our 4-bar bass riff intro, okay? And now, and this is, you could legitimately do this for your composition. The reason why I'm writing a note in first is because you need one in order to put a chord symbol on top in MuseScore. Hang on, I didn't want to put that note there. Why is it doing that? Okay. So I'm going to just do the 12-bar blues. Okay, so we're going to do C major. Oh, I can just put the chord symbols on top without putting the notes. Hilarious. Okay. Control C. So remembering the form of the blues is that, oh, it's not copying, pasting. Oh, maybe I do have to. Hang on, I can do this. Okay, so we have our first chord for 4 bars, and in the key of C, that's obviously C. Then we go up to our 4th chord, so that's F. And we do that for 2 bars. And then we go back to C, our first chord. And then we go G, so that's our 5th chord. So G, F chord, F major, I mean. Back to C, C. Oh, Facebook notification there. Okay, so that's our 12-bar blues. So like I said, C major or whatever key you're in, our first chord for 4 bars. Then we go to our 4th chord, which is F in the key of C for 2 bars. Then we go back to C. So dum, 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 back to C, 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 G, F, C, C. Okay, so that's the 12-bar blues. That can be your assignment. You can just copy that because that's the 12-bar blues. But I want to see some real originality with this 4-bar bass line riff. Guys, let's look at our melodies. Just get out your word setting. So that's where you've taken the lyrics, you've chosen the lyrics that you like from the ones that I provided to you. You can check your emails and you'll find them there if you haven't already. You can, out of those lyrics, you can just take out the words that you like, by the way, or the sections. You don't have to use all of the lyrics that were provided. So whatever you think sounds cool. And then we're going to put it in 4/4. So 4/4 is our time signature. There's going to be 4 crotchet beats per bar, okay? You might want to hit pause here and just take a look at the rhythms that I wrote. You may notice that, they're quite simple. I've used quavers, and I've used crotchets, and I've used minims. I used a minim rest as well. So hit pause and take a look. Okay, you're back. So you also notice here that I've hyphenated the words that have more than one syllable. So call in. We do that so that we can hear that there are 2 sounds. We need to have 2 notes to reflect this. Okay, so call in. I notated that as 2 quavers. Calling it out. Calling it out. So it is a crotchet, and out I notated it as a minim. You can see down here I've gone weekend. So I actually made that 2 crotchets. And then for the rest of the bar, we have a minim rest. But you notice that, 2 quavers equals 1 beat. So half plus half. Crotchet equals 1 beat. Minim equals 2 beats. Each bar actually adds up to 4. So 1 plus 1 plus 2 equals 4. 1 plus 1 plus 2 equals 4. Okay, I would really like to see you explore some more complex rhythms. For example, you have learnt about semiquavers. So they're actually faster than quavers. They're equal a quarter beat each. But we've looked at ticka ticka. It's quite fast. So 4 semiquavers in a row, it equals 1 beat. We've also looked at T ticka. So a quaver followed by 2 semiquavers. And ticka T, which is 2 semiquavers followed by a quaver. I'll write those rhythms down for you and show you. Okay guys, so here are the rhythms I was talking about. This is our 4 semiquavers, so our ticka ticka, it equals to 1 beat because each of these equals a quarter. And then you've got your ticka T, so 2 semiquavers followed by a quaver, that equals 1 beat as well. So a quarter plus a half. This guy is pretty much the same guy over here, except we've just flipped it. So the emphasis is on here. So it's T ticka. So quaver followed by 2 semiquavers. And then we've got our timka, which is our dotted crotchet, which equals 1.5 beat, followed by our quaver, which is a half. So this equals 2. Timka. So, say for instance, you want to use this one, you could go calling it, calling it, calling it. And then you might want to go out, which is a crotchet. And then for the rest of the bar, you could have rests. So remembering we have to make sure our bars add up to 4. Hopefully that makes sense. Please let me know. Send me an email if it doesn't. So back to the melody. I just want to show you what I've done here. With my bass line, all I have done is I've used a pattern of 1, 3, 5, 3 for each chord. So for instance, this is my C, E, G, E. Oh. So C, E, G, E, C, E, G, E, sorry, C, E, G, E, C, E, G, E, C, E, G, E. And then, so F, A, C, A is the 1, 3, 5, 3 of the F chord. Back to 1, 3, 5, 3 of C major. And then G, G, B, D, B, and then F, A, C, E, G, E, C. So that's all you need to do for your walking bass line. Pretty easy. So 1, 3, 5, 3 of each chord. That's all you need to do for your walking bass line. Okay, so up here, I'm just going to pull up those rhythms that I wrote. I did actually write something. I'm just going to copy it in here. There we go. Actually, I might just do that again. Okay, so rhythms. My first bar is 2 quavers, so I'm going to just hit this. Don't want to start so high. I'm going to take that down an octave. Okay, and then it was a quaver followed by a minim. So I'm going to play input. Oh, okay. I'm going to make this. You can't actually hear it, but what it sounds like is calling it out. But let's have a look at this. Have I followed the rules? Remember what the rules are? We have to, on our first beat, we have to use either C, E, or G. So, okay, have I done that? Yes, first beat. Let's go to our third beat. That's a D sharp. Is that a C, E, or a G? No. Okay, so we have to change that. I can make it an E. So it's calling it out. Or I can make it a C. So it goes calling it out, which actually sounds a little bit more rocky. Or I can make this higher and make this an E. So it's calling it out. That could work as well. Well, let's stick with that one. I'm going to repeat it because, as we know, repetition is a technique that's used in pop rock music. Cool. All right, let's just check my word setting over here, the rhythms that I wrote. That's all good. So my next bar has to be 2 quavers followed by 3 crotchets. By the way, has to is a strong word. We can change that, and like I discussed before, we can make those rhythms more complex. So, hidden, might make that, so we're on an E, might go up to a G, hey? Hidden, so 4 crotchets. Hidden, hidden the. Okay, all right, so our third beat, which is this guy here, needs to be C, E, or G. Hidden the dance. No, it's not, it has to be a C, E, or a G. Hidden the dance floor. Hearing me shout. What rhythms did I write there? So 2 quavers and a crotchet and a minim. Oh, and we want to make that a crotchet, so just have to hit that. Hearing me shout. Actually, I'm not going to make that a minim. I'm going to make it a crotchet and followed by a crotchet rest. So it goes calling it out, hitting the dance floor, hearing me shout. Sounds a little bit rocky. Cool. All right, so our next line, what are my rhythms? Oh, what's that? So 2 quavers, a crotchet, and 2 quavers grouped. Okay, so 2 quavers, So no one controls me on a weekend. So now we pick notes in this chord. Let me just write them out for you. So F, A, C, E. Don't you love it when these little glitches happen? It must be so annoying to watch. Okay. F, A, C are our notes. So our first beat, our first note needs to be one of those, F, A, or C. So we've just finished off on C, so no one controls me. I think that calls for a little bit of drama. So maybe we could go up to an F there. No one controls me. Let's make that a quadrat. No one, oh no, we're going to have like 2 quavers, that's right. Oh, no one controls me. No one controls me. One, two, three. It's not one of our notes, is it? So let's make that a C. No one controls me. Anna. I reckon we go back to F there. Guys, I'm just using my ear and then matching the notes on here, which you can do. And by the way, you can like choose a note and then go, oh no, I don't like that sound. I'm going to make that a G. And then I'm just using my arrow up to do that. Actually, yeah, so it now sounds like no one controls me, Anna. Weekend. 2 crotchets. Let's go here. No one controls me, Anna. Weekend. Cool, and then we just have a rest there. So no one controls me on a weekend. And then we have to go back to C, like using our notes in C. Anyway, guys, I hope that gives you a bit of a gist of writing a melody. We have spent a lot of time in class on this, so this is just a bit of a rehash. Remembering that I'm just using, this is my form over here. This is my skeleton with my rhythms. So I've got that. You can have that printed out beside you and then have your rhythms written down. So you've got that, and when you go to start your composition or writing your melody, I mean, you just need to press whatever rhythm you're starting on and then you actually type in the note. Hope that makes sense, and obviously please feel free to ask me as many questions. Okay guys, so in summary, you will need to set your lyrics to a bunch of rhythms that all or each bar adds up to 4 crotchet beats because your time signature is 4/4. You make your 16 bars in MuseScore, so please watch that video. That is the first video that I made for this YouTube channel. Then you choose your chords. You can go back to the section of the video where that happens. Then you write out your walking bass line, okay, which is just 1, 3, 5, 3 of each chord. So if we're in the key of C and your first chord is C major, that's C, E, G, E. Then you write your melody, and remembering the rule, and that is your first note has to be the tonic. So when we're in the key of C, that's C. and our last note needs to be C if we're in the key of C. Okay, and that's the same up here as well. Our first chord has to be C major, and our last chord needs to be C major. Cool. All right, and then once you've written your melody, watch that video. I know I said that up here, but watch that video on how to use MuseScore and what I expect in terms of how you set your composition out. So just going back to the one that I just did. Oh, I think I deleted it. Oh no. Did I? Oh no, I didn't. Good. Should always save your work, even if you think it might be a little bit rubbish. Okay, so if you're going to choose to do the 12-bar blues with the 4-bar intro, this is what it's meant to look like. Your chord symbols need to be on top. Your lyrics go here, underneath here. So, party, my friend. As you can see, it's all set out 4 bars per system. We need a double bar line after your first 4-bar intro, if this is what you're going to do. And this final bar will automatically be there. So, yeah. And that's that. Best of luck finishing this, and if you have any questions, like I said before, hit me up.